Hello everyone, it's Laurie from Cook Scrap Craft and I'm back with another process video for you. This is part of my February challenge to do 5 process videos a week for the entire month of February. So we are on week 2, day 2, and I hope you've been enjoying watching all of these process videos. If you're like, what are you talking about? Then you must be new here. Welcome, and I hope that you will hit that subscribe button so that you get notified when future process videos go live, and take some time to look back on the channel. I'll try to make a February challenge playlist so that all of these videos are going in one spot and you can easily access them. I'm trying to do something different each day, whether it's a 1-page layout or a 2-page layout, so I hope that you're finding some inspiration, and that if you are, you also give this video a like. So I'm doing a pocket page today because sometimes you just have a million photos and you need a really easy way to scrapbook them. Some people might look at pocket pages and think, that's a cop-out. And it's very different from scrapbooking on just a single sheet of 12 by 12 pattern paper, but it's not a cop-out. As I said, it's just a really easy way to get a lot of photos scrapbooked, and I had about 1.5 million photos that I took when we went to Rocky Mountains 2 years ago. And I guess when I was printing all of these photos, I didn't really take the time to weed anything out. I literally just said, these are all the August photos, and I printed them all, and I don't necessarily need all of them. And also, Shutterfly doesn't keep your photos in order. So sometimes when you print, you'll be like, oh, here are the first few from the month. And then it's like something from the end of the month and then something from the middle of the month. And I don't know how that happens, why it can't just come out. I don't know how they come out of the machine. I don't know. But regardless, they're always out of order. And these photos, I could not remember for the life of me, like where they were or when. They're all from the same day. I just wasn't sure, like, was this from the picnic stop? Was this from the first stop? I don't even know where we stopped. It's been 2 years. I have no idea. So I just said a pocket page is going to be the easiest thing to do. And because I have so many photos, I'm also going to add a 6 by 12 page protector. And that's self-adhesive. So that's going to stick right onto the plastic of this page protector. Just make sure that when you're using those stick-on additions that you're not sticking them over the holes in the main page protector. Otherwise, you're not going to get it into your scrapbook album if the holes are covered. So basically, I'm using a simple 4x6 horizontal page protector. Got it from scrapbook.com. I have so many horizontal photos, so I'm just going through. I'm looking for the ones that have people in them because I definitely want those to be featured. And what's going to happen is that the front and back of this one, this is going to be kind of like the main event for this whole spread. Then I'm going to add the 6 by 12 and add a few more pictures, but then I am going to do another 4x6 page protector, but I'm not going to do any embellishing in that one. I'm literally just sticking the photos in the pockets and calling it a day. But this is like the main event. This is what opens that series of photos. So what I like to do with these pocket pages is kind of go back and forth between photo and little 4x6 mini layout, if you will. So on the front of this, I did sort of a title page. I used a travel-themed cut apart on some travel-themed paper and added a few embellishments and the journaling for, the date and what we did. And on the back of that, I'm going to add another travel-themed cut apart so that there's something else of visual interest. And I'm just going to add in a few more embellishments for that side. The photo next to this, I added some embellishments to it. Just for, again, some visual interest. There's like a little arrow and a heart, and I think an enamel dot, just to kind of bring the focus to my daughter who is in that photo. But the rest of the photos on this side, I'm not really adding anything to. The other side has, I think I did 2 4x6 little mini layouts on that side. And on this side, I'm only going to do 1 because I have so many photos. But I like having the different elements kind of mixed throughout the photos. So on the other side, along with the sort of title mini layout. I also did a 4x6 cut apart that had a picture of the United States on it. And I used a Simple Stories chipboard, the pin. I don't know what it's called. When you're looking at like Google Maps like Google Maps, and it shows you where you are, that little pin looking thing that shows you, I don't know if it has a name. Does it have a name? Let me know in the comments if you know if it has a name. But I stuck that on top of Colorado, or what I hope is Colorado. I think I know where everything is in the United States, but I stuck it down there just because that's where these pictures were taken, and I thought it would be fun to kind of just add something extra to that 4x6 cut apart. Now, another reason why I'm not doing too many other mini layouts is because I'm running low on supplies, and I didn't want to cut into any more travel themed paper. Most of the travel themed paper I have left is like cruise themed. And so I originally had bought that paper pack with the intention of using it to scrapbook our cruise photos from last summer 2024. And obviously those photos are not anywhere close to being printed out. So I'm trying to save the rest of that paper pack and not use too much of it. So this is going to be really interesting as I go forward in February. You're going to get a lot of scrapbook processes that are like using scraps or scrapbooking without a photo. So stay tuned for that. I hope you're ready, because I know that my wallet is ready for that, for not having to spend anything on scrapbook supplies. So here's the 6x12 page protector. I guess I was going to say like pocket page, but it's just a page protector. It's half the size of a 12x12. That's why it's a 6x12. And I got it from Creative Memories. I've had this for a while. I think I purchased these maybe 2 Christmases ago. But I like that they're adhesive, and so you can just stick them onto anything. It's just a fun way to add some interest to the page, because it's going to open up and you're going to see more photos. And then it also helps you add more photos to your page. This does not have holes in it, so you really couldn't use this 6x12 to just do on its own 6x12 layout, because you can't just stick it on its own in your album. But I saw a Shamel, maybe it was a TikTok, and I swear she had a 6x12 that had holes. It was just a normal 6x12 page protector, and she had put it into her album as such. It wasn't something that stuck onto another page protector. And I had asked her where she got it from, presumably scrapbook.com, because she has an affiliate relationship with them. But she didn't respond, and I haven't looked it up yet. So if you look it up on scrapbook.com, maybe share a link with us in the comments, because you'll probably look it up before I do, before I remember to. But I want to say somewhere out there are just regular 6x12 page protectors if you're interested in doing something a little bit different with your scrapbook albums. So what I'm doing with the 6x12 layout, I've taken a piece of Lawn Fawn paper as the background. I've added in a scrap piece of Simple Stories pattern paper. And then I used I guess it was the branding strip of the Compass pattern paper. And the Compass pattern paper I had used within the 4x6 12x12 pocket page. So I'm kind of trying to tie those elements together. And for this one, I'm using the vertical photos that I took instead of the horizontal ones, because I did have some vertical ones that were really great, and had people in them. So I wanted to utilize them. They were 4x6. For this side, I cut them down to 3.5x5 so that you could see, the background layout behind them. It didn't take up too much space. And I'm just going to add in a few embellishments. I really want to use that arrow, and it's a little long for this page. And I couldn't figure out how to get it to point in the right direction. So I said, well, I'll save it. Don't worry, it comes back. That tag I just cut out. Like, I have random stuff on my desk that I just haven't put away. So it's kind of nice to go through those pieces and be like, oh, what's out here? What do I have? What can I add? And this had some green in it, the tag. I think it was possibly from a Shamel piece of paper. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to stick that right down there and add that chipboard camera, which I love. That's from Simple Stories. I think that's actually from a Simple Stories like tropical themed collection, but cameras aren't specifically tropical. Cameras can be used for anything. So I like finding pieces in my ephemera and my embellishments that can be used, that are part of a very specific themed collection, but they can actually be used in many different ways. So always look for those in whatever ephemera pack or sticker book you get. There's always going to be stuff that doesn't have to be so themey. You can use it for many different things. So here are all the rest of my vertical photos. I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, which ones should I put on here? Obviously, I'm only doing a 6x12 size, so I can't do all of them. So I'm going to use the one of my daughter. I'm going to have to cut these down again as well to 3.5 by 5 to give them some extra room. And again, I'm using, so the opposite side of the Lawn Fawn paper, which is still green, but it has sort of a flower pattern on it. And then I'm using a piece of scrap of the Simple Stories, that same yellow pattern paper, and then the compass paper again. So everything ties together. All those elements are still there. It's just I'm creating cohesion out of scraps, essentially. So it's almost like these are the same ideas you would use on a full page layout without pocket pages, but it's not a full page layout. It's smaller, it's got pockets, that you can still use some of the same ideas and transfer those ideas back and forth as you go. So I don't want you to think like, well, if I use a pocket, I just have to put my photo in, or like, how do I make this work? How do I make it feel creative and still allow myself to do the style that I like? Just create little mini layouts and just use those same ideas, rule of 3, use the same patterns across the different pieces that you're doing. So it seems daunting. I think pocket page scrapbooking can be even more difficult than regular scrapbooking, because if you're not used to, you're used to having a larger space to create with. And it's not, you don't really get that when you're doing pocket page scrapbooking, but it is manageable. Okay, it is manageable. And I do have a playlist of pocket page scrapbooking. So if you want to see more ideas like this, definitely check that out. I'll try to put it in the description box. I know I say in every video, I'll try to put this in the description. And then I forget, because when I go back and add in the description, I'm like, I don't know what I talked about in this video. So I'm sorry if it's not there, but I'll try to remember to put it there. I should have a piece of paper and pencil near me while I'm recording these. So I'm just using those scrap pieces of paper, lining them up on the edge and sort of using them as like a mat for those photos. They're sort of overlapping. It's kind of wonky. It's kind of weird, but I like it. It's fine. And then that arrow, I finally said, why don't I just cut the arrow down to size, because it doesn't need to be so big. And then I can layer up some embellishments on top of it. So another good rule is that if there's an embellishment you want to use, but it's a little too big, just cut it. Don't be afraid to cut anything. Cut down your photos, cut down your embellishments, cut your paper. You bought it, let's use it, let's cut into it. And there's my head. I got to get up close so I can line everything up. A lot of these stickers are from, I can't remember the manufacturer, but just a travel themed sticker sheet. Like I said, there's also some Simple Stories chipboard pieces in here. I think the arrow is from a Chamel piece. I recently rediscovered a little packet of road trip theme stickers and like sort of gem embellishment things that I had. And so I was trying to use some of those on this layout as well. Which wasn't a road trip. We flew to Colorado, but it was kind of a good reminder as I was going through my embellishments, trying to organize them and trying to find pieces that were going to work for this month's challenge. I was like, oh yeah, I have these. I should use them because they're travel themed. So once this is all done, not a whole lot of journaling here because I don't really think it's necessary. I said on the front page that these were the Rocky Mountains, so that's what they are. This is pictures of mountains. But once I finish up with all of this, then I will be putting it into the 6x12 page, which I'm looking for. Right there it is. And that white piece, that's the protective coating against the glue. So once I stick this in, which it was a little tricky because there's some dimension to this page now. It's not flat. But now I'm ready to put it down, and I just peel that white piece off. And it's clear, so I can see through where I want to line it up. And again, don't line it up where the holes are. You won't be able to fit this into your album. But it's super easy to do. There's kind of what it looks like when you flip it up. I thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back tomorrow for another process video during my February challenge. I hope you follow me on social media to see lots more fun, scrappy, crafty goodness. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.